Average Dude has something to say about...
As I said in the last video, Ted Diadiun had an update of his own as a reader representative of the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Remember, this is the guy who less than a year ago, when it came to the murder of Lynn Jackenheimer, said that the Cleveland Plain Dealer didn't have to do it because it wasn't local. And they quoted missing white woman syndrome. Oh, yeah, he was disrespectful as hell. But you know what? There was a possibility that he opened up. Let's go ahead and go over all the minorities and the ones who don't get the coverage. So, when it came to a African-American transgender murder victim, well, the Cleveland Plain Dealer was disrespectful as hell again. And guess what Teddy Boy's gonna do? He's coming to the rescue of the Cleveland Plain Dealer, explaining it away, but blaming everybody else yet again. And I'm tired of hearing about journalistic integrity. Teddy Boy retired. Okay? Link down below. Someone video recorded his retirement party at the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Way to go. And then he's back working. That's called double dipping, Teddy. And also, and you'll see the links down below on all of this as usual, Ted has written a piece where he was going over, oh, we're making cuts and people are going to lose their jobs. And oh, yeah, Ted, you had a good long run, and yet you are still there at the Cleveland Plain Dealer in the most useless role that the Cleveland Plain Dealer has to offer. Okay, you had your run. There are younger people who have busted their butts to have an opportunity at life, and you are still taking. I highly doubt, Diadiun, that you are working pro bono, bucko. Very, very... I don't need to hear about integrity from this asshole. Ted, you suck. I'm getting started. The name of his piece here, quote, the title, Story of Olmsted Township Homicide Victim Riles Transgender Advocates, by Ted Diadiun. You're going to love this. He blames everybody else except the Plain Dealer. Quote, story provoked an ire from the transgender community. No kidding. Quote, completely unexpected. Why? You know, that's a big problem when you don't know why, Diadiun. You're professionals. You're supposed to know. Good God. Quote, Caniglia did what reporters do. Really? So reporters are supposed to say nothing but disrespectful things about a murder victim's past in multiple articles, Ted? And so when it comes to that, Ted blames the family. Yeah, he blames the family. Quote, Akoff's family had not responded to multiple interview requests. Oh, gee. Wonder why they didn't give an interview with you guys at the Plain Dealer. Couldn't possibly be because of the first disrespectful article, or the second, or the revisions that were disrespectful. I mean, good heavens. Of course they're not going to give you an interview. Your paper sucks. Unbelievable. Yeah, blaming the family. It's the family's fault. They didn't give us anything good to say about the murder victim. Unbelievable. Hey, God. Quote, Caniglia was stunned. I was trying to be as sensitive as possible, he said. I never had a thought to be unfair or hurt somebody who was already brutally slain. No. John Caniglia, you went way above and beyond. You didn't tell anybody. You focused on the murder victim and everything negative about the murder victim. Everything odd. Remember, oddly dressed man, the undergarments, and oh, the history and the gender identification. You didn't mention, hey, people in the Cleveland area, there's a murderer on the loose. With any information, please call the authorities. You did nothing on that. You offered nothing positive about the murder victim, and the pictures used were absolutely the worst that they could possibly find. And they continued using pictures that were just horrible of the murder victim. You went above and beyond, Cleveland Plain Dealer. Oh my God. And then they're going to blame the AP, the Associated Press. Quote, several years ago, the AP changed its style on transgender references. The transgender community knows this. Caniglia and his editors did not. Really? You know what? I would expect my medical doctor to keep up to date on current medical practices, procedures, illnesses, and medications. Wouldn't you people? I would expect my attorney to keep up to date on the change in laws, and wouldn't you? So why wouldn't we expect a professional with journalistic integrity printed publication such as the Cleveland Plain Dealer to keep up to date on the Associated Press's guidelines? You've got to be kidding me! That is not an acceptable excuse. And, quote, several years ago? And you still haven't kept up to date? And at this point, forgive me, I'm losing my voice. This is where he turns it all around. Look at the article. This is how pathetic this is. He then turns around and indicates that they were aware of the guidelines and they questioned the guidelines. Quote, the AP style change is understandable but perplexing. Where do we draw the line? Said Chris Quinn, the managing editor there, Diadiun's boss. Which is it, Diadiun? Which is it, Cleveland Plain Dealer? Were you ignorant or were you questioning? Were you just, because if you remained ignorant, that just simply means that you're incompetent as a publication several years ago, good heavens. Or you questioned those AP style changes and you chose to defy them. Unethical. So either you're incompetent or unethical. Which is it? Either way, both of them are unprofessional and they are unacceptable. Ooh. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? The disrespect, even to this day, is continuing on. Oh, Ted Diadiun is not finished blaming everybody else. Near the end of his article, you're going to love this. Quote, this experience drove home to all of us the need for sensitivity in writing about any group, and particularly the transgender community. Okay, that's actually very relevant and true. However, here we go. He's going to turn it around and blame everybody else. Quote, but in asking for sensitivity and understanding, many gave none. In other words, to the Plain Dealer. Quote, making their objections in unbelievably vitriolic language. Diadiun, the Plain Dealer, is not the victim in this. John Caniglia was not the victim. You are not the victim. Samia Dove Akoff is, was, has, and always will be the victim in this situation. Unbelievable that you're making it out to be about your suffering. God! And as I am making this video, the Cleveland Plain Dealer released yet another article on this situation because they caught the murderer, the Andrew Bridges. And this guy has, a history of violent crime. They did something smart this time around, the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Another writer took a crack at this, Peter Krause. And I got to tell you right now, it's not perfect. They're still using this ugly, horrible, awful picture of Samia Dove Akoff when they should be showing a picture of the murderer who was caught. But, okay, the title of this one, links down below. Audrey Bridges of Parma charged with aggravated murder in the death of Carl Akoff, whose body was pulled from an Olmsted Township pond. Okay, Peter Krause did a much better job, but again, Plain Dealer, you really should have used a picture of the murderer this time around, rather than the worst picture you could have possibly found of Samia. And by now, there are so many other much more tasteful pictures of Samia out there on the internet that they're pushing the envelope. Okay, gay, lesbian, transgender, okay, all of those in the community, the bisexual, all of you, this paper is defying you. You have all asked and demanded an apology. They will never give it. They've done this before. They have disrespected murder victims before. They didn't apologize for Lynn Jackenheimer and the treatment there. They're not going to apologize to you. They're still doing this. They're still defying the Associated Press's guidelines on reporting transgender situations. Whereas a publication called The Scene, linked down below, their article did it right. Did everything that the Cleveland Plain Dealer refuses to do after multiple articles and revisions. The name of this article is Parma Man Charged with Murder of Transgender Woman Samia Dove. Okay. Transgender woman, that right there, Samia Dove, by the name that Samia chose, okay, and Parma Man charged with murder, okay? That's the perfect title for this. It's respectful. It's respectful to the victim, and it focuses on the whole thing focuses on the murderer. And there's a picture of the murderer there. Cleveland Plain Dealer, I will not do another video on you. You have no journalistic integrity, that's how I feel, and you are going to go out of business. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Your readers have been telling you over and over to get it together, and you refuse to. You defy your paying customers. That is a stupid business model. The next video that I do is going to be when your paper announces that you are going out of business. And I will say, I told you so.